Have you ever looked at someone else's life and felt like you were falling behind? Like no matter how hard you tried, you were never enough? There was a man who lived his entire life in this prison, until one day, a mountain taught him what no person ever could. His name was Daniel. He was a good man, a kind man. He had a decent job, a small apartment, and people who cared about him. But Daniel couldn't see any of it, because every morning he woke up and looked at what everyone else had. His neighbor, Marcus, drove a shiny black car. Daniel drove an old sedan that made strange noises. His coworker, Sarah, got promoted twice in 1 year. Daniel had been in the same position for 5. His childhood friend, Tom, traveled the world and posted pictures from beaches and mountains. Daniel hadn't left his city in 3 years. Every single day, Daniel measured his life against the lives of others, and every single day he came up short. He didn't smile anymore. He didn't celebrate his own small victories. When he finished a project at work, he thought about how Sarah would have done it better. When he bought something new, he thought about how Marcus already had something nicer. His life became a constant comparison, a never-ending race where everyone else was ahead. Daniel's friends noticed the change in him. "You seem stressed," his friend Lisa said one evening over coffee. "I'm fine," Daniel replied, scrolling through social media, looking at photos of people living lives he thought he should be living. But he wasn't fine. He was drowning. He started working longer hours, thinking that if he just worked harder, he could catch up. But the finish line kept moving. He bought things he couldn't afford, trying to look successful, but the emptiness inside only grew. One night, Daniel sat alone in his apartment, staring at his phone. He saw Marcus posting about his new promotion, Sarah sharing photos from her vacation in Greece, Tom celebrating his engagement, and Daniel felt nothing but pain. "What's wrong with me?" he whispered to himself. "Why can't I be like them?" He had forgotten something important, something that would change everything, but he didn't know it yet. The next weekend, Daniel decided to escape the city. He needed space. He needed air. He needed to feel something other than inadequacy. Hours passed. His legs burned, his lungs struggled for air, but he kept going. Finally, he reached a clearing near the top. The view was breathtaking. He could see for miles, forests, valleys, rivers, and in the distance, other mountains. That's when he noticed something. Each mountain was different. Some were tall and sharp, cutting into the sky like knives. Others were wide and gentle, rolling like waves. Some were covered in snow. Others were green with trees. Some stood alone. Others clustered together. But here's what struck Daniel. None of the mountains were trying to be each other. The smaller mountain didn't look at the taller one and feel ashamed. The green mountain didn't envy the snow-covered peak. Each one simply existed exactly as it was meant to be. Daniel sat down on a rock, breathing heavily, staring at the mountains. And for the first time in years, something inside him shifted. An old man appeared on the trail, walking slowly with a wooden cane. His face was weathered, his eyes kind. "Beautiful, isn't it?" the old man said, sitting beside Daniel. "Yes," Daniel replied. "I've never seen anything like it." The old man smiled. "I come here often. These mountains have taught me more about life than any book or person ever could." Daniel looked at him curiously. "What do you mean?" The old man pointed at the peaks. "See that tall mountain there? And that shorter one beside it? Do you think the shorter one wakes up every morning wishing it was taller?" Daniel didn't answer. "Of course not," the old man continued, "because that mountain understands something we humans forget. It has its own path, its own purpose, its own beauty. It doesn't need to be anything other than what it is. Daniel felt tears forming in his eyes. "You've been comparing yourself to others, haven't you?" the old man asked gently. Daniel nodded, unable to speak. "I did the same thing once. Spent 40 years of my life looking at what everyone else had. I was so busy watching their journey that I forgot to walk my own. And you know what I discovered?" "What?" Daniel whispered. "That comparison is a thief. It steals your joy. It steals your peace. It steals your present moment. Because when you're constantly measuring yourself against others, you're never here. You're never now. You're always somewhere else, wishing you were someone else." Daniel stayed on that mountain until sunset. As he watched the sky turn orange and pink, he thought about his life, really thought about it, not compared to Marcus or Sarah or Tom, just his life, his actual life. He had a job that paid his bills. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work. He had an apartment. It was small, but it was his. He had friends who cared about him. He had his health. He had mornings. He had sunsets like this one. He had a life. And for the first time in years, he saw it. When Daniel returned home, he made a decision. He deleted social media from his phone. Not forever, but for now. He needed space from the constant comparison. He stopped looking at Marcus's car and started appreciating his own. Yes, it made strange noises, but it got him where he needed to go. And when he stopped resenting it, he realized it had been faithful to him for 7 years. He stopped envying Sarah's promotions and started focusing on his own growth. He took a course he had been putting off. He volunteered for a project he actually cared about, not to compete with anyone, but because it interested him. He stopped wishing he was Tom and started creating his own adventures. He explored his own city. He found hidden parks, small cafes, quiet libraries. He discovered that joy wasn't about going far. It was about being present wherever you were. Slowly, something incredible happened. Daniel started smiling again, laughing again, breathing again. He wasn't ahead of anyone. He wasn't behind anyone. He was simply walking his own path, and that path, he realized, was enough. Here's what Daniel learned on that mountain. Comparison is not motivation. It's poison. When you compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20, you're not being fair to yourself. When you compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, you're looking at a lie. Everyone is climbing their own mountain. Some mountains are steep and fast, others are gentle and slow. Some are climbed alone, others are climbed with many people. But every mountain has its own challenges, its own beauty, its own purpose. Your journey is not meant to look like anyone else's. You are not behind. You are not ahead. You are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn. The moment you stop comparing is the moment you start living. So if you're watching this right now and you've been comparing yourself to others, I want you to hear this. You are enough, exactly as you are, right now. Your pace is your pace. Your path is your path. Your timeline is your timeline. Stop looking at what everyone else is doing and start seeing what you already have. Stop measuring your worth by someone else's achievements and start recognizing your own progress. You don't need to be taller, richer, smarter, or more successful than anyone else. You just need to be the fullest version of yourself. The mountain doesn't compare. The river doesn't compete. The tree doesn't envy. And neither should you. Walk your path, climb your mountain, live your life. That's the only race worth running. If this story touched your heart, give it a like. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want more life-changing stories like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's grow together. See you in the next story.